Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Circle Time. I hope you're ready to have a fun time today. I think I have some fun things planned. So as always, I have 2 books planned, and then I have a fun song that we can sing, and I have a fun rhyme, and then we're going to do a really cool craft, okay? So what I really need to know is, do you guys like dragons? Because my Circle Time today is all about dragons. So let's go ahead and get started, and let's do our first book called Dragon is Coming. Oh no, I hope the dragon isn't coming here to my house. So Dragon is Coming, written by Valerie Gorbachev. One summer day, Dog was watching the clouds. Some looked like fluffy white ducks in a blue lake. Some looked like ice cream cones. Suddenly, a dark cloud rolled in. Wow, that big gray cloud looks like a dragon that will swallow the sun. Dog's voice woke up Mouse, who was taking a nap nearby. Ah! Dragon is coming! Mouse ran past the Goose Brothers. Help! Help! Did you see that flame? Run, geese, run! The Goose Brothers flapped their wings and followed Mouse. Soon they passed the Sheep Twins. Honk, honk. Look out, sheep! Dragon is coming! He'll swallow the sun, and we're next! Did you hear his stomach rumble? Dragon's up there, and everyone's down below. The Sheep Twins stamped their hooves, following Mouse and the Goose Brothers. Soon they met Mrs. Cow and Mrs. Pig. Bah! Honk, honk. Holy cow, Mrs. Cow! Follow us, Mrs. Pig! Dragon is coming! Did you feel that drop? He's licking his lips! Oh no. Mrs. Cow and Mrs. Pig joined the stampede, following Mouse, the Goose Brothers, and the Sheep Twins right into the barn. Move, said Mrs. Cow. Snort, Mrs. Pig says. Bah, says the Sheep Twins. Honk, honk, say the geese. This way, says Mouse. Mouse closed the door. She locked the windows. Then all the animals sat quietly in the darkness. He's coming closer and closer. Do you hear all that noise? He's right outside. They're imagining what it must look like as the dragon comes to the barn. The animals huddled together and approached the door. Squeak! They opened the door. Oh no, is this dragon coming? Who's that? That's not Dragon. That's Dog. Why are you all here in the dark? The thundercloud is gone and the storm is over. Thundercloud? There's nothing to be afraid of. Mouse, a thundercloud is big and scary, but it's not a dragon. Oops, I guess Dragon isn't coming after all. Hooray! Look in the sky. Maybe Dragon's leaving. The end. Oh my goodness. Poor Mouse was so scared. And really, it was just a thunderstorm. Mouse's imagination ran away with her. And that happens to all of us sometimes. Okay. Are you guys ready to pretend that you're a dragon? I have a fun song here where we're going to do different things to pretend like we're dragons. The one thing I'm going to do is we have to stomp. So I'm going to kind of go like this so you guys can see me. You won't be able to see me stomping, but you'll know that I'm stomping. Okay? So we are going to, oops, let me actually, there we go. So we're going to fly like a dragon, doo-doo-doo. Fly like a dragon, doo-doo-doo. Fly like a dragon, doo-doo-doo. Fly like a dragon wherever you go. Stomp like a dragon, dee-dee-dee. Stomp like a dragon, dee-dee-dee. Stomp like a dragon, dee-dee-dee. Stomp like a dragon wherever you go. Breathe like a dragon, roar, roar. Breathe like a dragon, roar, roar. Breathe like a dragon, roar, roar. Breathe like a dragon wherever you go. Now you're going to wag your tails. So you're going to wag like a dragon, back and forth. Wag like a dragon, back and forth. Wag like a dragon, back and forth. Wag like a dragon wherever you go. Then we're going to eat like a dragon, chomp, chomp. Eat like a dragon, chomp, chomp. Eat like a dragon, chomp, chomp. Eat like a dragon wherever you go. That's a silly one. I like that one. Okay. So why don't we now read our next book? This book is called The Best Pet of All. Do you guys think a dragon would make a good pet? I don't know. Let's find out. The Best Pet of All by David La Rochelle and illustrated by Hanako Wakayama. On Monday, I asked my mother if I could have a dog. A dog is a good pet, I said. No, she said. Dogs are too messy. On Tuesday, I asked my mother if I could have a dog. A dog is a very good pet, I said. No, she said. Dogs are too loud. On Wednesday, I asked my mother if I could have a dog. A dog is the best pet of all, I said. No, she said. No dogs. On Thursday, I asked my mother if I could have a dragon. A dragon, she said. I have never heard of having a dragon for a pet. She thought a bit. If you can find a dragon, you can keep it for a pet. Uh-oh. Dragons are not easy to find. There were no dragons in the park. There were no dragons at the beach. There were no dragons in the woods. There were no dragons at the zoo. At last, I found a dragon. This dragon was at the drugstore. He was wearing dark glasses and a hat. That's a silly dragon. I asked the dragon to come home with me. The dragon said no. You can sleep in my bed, I said. He still would not come. You can play with my toys, I said. The dragon said yes. Dragons like to play with toys, but they do not like to put them away. Oh my goodness, that dragon made a big mess. They do not like to help with chores. He's taking out the trash and you see the dragon taking a nap in the hammock. That's not very helpful. And they make a mess in the kitchen. They roast hot dogs in the living room. What? And they dance to loud music all night long. Oh no, it'd be hard to sleep with that going on. My mother did not like this dragon. She asked the dragon to please leave. The dragon would not go. Then she told the dragon to leave now. The dragon still would not go. Finally, my mother got angry. She stomped her foot. She told the dragon to leave this minute or else. That sounds like he might be getting in trouble. The dragon just shook his head. He went back to eating spaghetti in the bathtub. Oh my goodness, that's really silly. Too bad we do not have a dog, I said. Dragons do not like dogs. The dragon looked worried. Dragons are afraid of dogs, I said. The dragon began to shake. A dog would chase the dragon away, I said. The dragon ran to my toy box and jumped inside. Look at his spaghetti footprints. You are right, my mother said. Maybe we need a dog. I put a sign in the window, dog wanted. Soon, there was a knock at the door. It was a dog. The dragon saw the dog. peeking out at him. He grabbed his hat and ran out the door. Thank goodness we have a dog, said Mother. A dog is a good pet. My dog wagged his tail. Yes, I said, a dog is the best pet of all. The end. What do you guys think? Would a dog be a better pet than a dragon? I don't know. Kind of looked like that dragon was making a big mess. So, okay, let's do our next rhyme. And I'm going to real quick get my little knights together. I've got 5 little knights here. And I've got a dragon. So, we've got 5 brave knights here to save the day. Along came a dragon and carried one away. So how many knights do I have left now? 4. 4 brave knights here to save the day. Along came a dragon and carried one away. How many knights do I have now? 3. 3 brave knights here to save the day. Along came a dragon and carried one away. How many do I have left now? There's 2. 2 brave knights here to save the day. Along came a dragon and carried one away. Now how many are left? Just 1. 1 brave knight here to save the day. Along came a dragon and carried one away. Oh no. No brave knights here to save the day. They're all in the castle and there they will stay. Poor knights got carried off by the dragon to the castle, but at least now they can hide out in the castle. So that was really fun. So are you guys ready for our craft? So our craft is a fun dragon. Here's our dragon. What do you guys think? Does he look pretty cool? And you notice he's got a whole bunch of stuff hanging out of his mouth. This is a fire-breathing dragon. So if I put him up to my lips and I blow, he looks like he's breathing fire. You guys want to know how to make this guy? All right, let me just move my camera around and we'll get started. Okay, so to make our fire-breathing dragon, we're going to need a toilet paper tube, some scissors, and as always, make sure you have your grown-ups help with the scissors. I have a black marker, and I used some color pencils for this. You can maybe use crayons, or if you have colored tissue paper, you can use the colored tissue paper. I only had white, so I had to color it, so I used color pencils. But you do need some tissue paper, some really lightweight tissue paper, and some paper. This dragon, the next dragon I'm going to make is going to be a red dragon, so I have red paper. But you guys can see I made a green dragon, so I used green paper. You can make whatever color dragon you want. We're also going to need our glue stick, a pencil, and a ruler. Okay? So, to get started, first we need to cover the paper towel, the toilet paper tube in paper. So what we're going to do is line the toilet paper tube. Let me get them out of the way for a second. There we go. So what you need to do is line the toilet paper up with the bottom or the edge of the paper, and then take your pencil and mark how high up the toilet paper tube comes. So now you guys can see I have a mark there. So now what I'm going to do is take my ruler and I'm going to line it up with that mark, and then I'm going to draw a line across the whole piece of paper. There we go. So now all I need to do is just cut down that line. And again, always have your grown-ups help with your scissors. Only cut your paper, nothing else. Be very, very careful as you cut. So we're just going to cut down the line. Okay, so now we need the piece that was the same size as the toilet paper tube. And now we're going to take our glue and you can glue a really good line on your tube. And we're going to fold up our paper and glue the end to the glue. So you can give it a good press. And then if you just roll the paper up, you can roll it and then kind of go a little bit past where you glued. So there'll be some overlap. And you can make another little line. It doesn't really have to be straight. And then carefully, and you could probably do this before you glue it, but carefully cut it off. Finish rolling your tube up. And when you get to the end, take a piece of scrap paper just so you don't get glue all over your table. Put lots of glue right on the end, and you're gonna roll, 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 roll. Give it a little bit of a squeeze. And there we go. Now we've covered our toilet paper tube in red. So the next thing we can do is we're going to make the dragon eyes. So you guys can, if you have pom-poms, you can glue some pom-poms and make eyes that way. I don't have any pom-poms here at my house, so I'm using just some paper. So all I'm going to do, oops, I'm going to put the lid back on my glue, is I'm just going to draw some eyes. And the way I did it was kind of make like a big M, and this will be a little bit upside down for you guys. Maybe if I do it sideways. Kind of make an M. And then if you draw a box underneath, like 3 parts of a box. So you kind of have that kind of a shape. Okay? So now we're going to cut it out. And if you want to make round eyes, you can make round eyes. They may just not sit up though. This way is an easy way to make them stand up. So I'm just cutting them out. I'll cut across. Okay. So now I have my shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually fold it so that I have a little tab that's going to be where I glue. So if you guys can see, now it makes kind of an L shape. I'll hold it up so you guys can see. There we go. I make like an L shape, and you see how now the eyes will stand up from me holding it here. So there's his eyes. You guys can go ahead and draw some eyes on. So this guy has 2 eyes, so I'm going to draw a line down the middle here. Let's see if I can get this. You can see it. I'm going to draw a line down the middle. First 2 eyes. And then here's 1 eye, and here's 2 eyes. And you can draw whatever kind of eyes you want. Those are my eyes. So now I'm going to take my tube, and I'm going to make sure that my seam from where I glued the paper on is at the bottom. So that part is going to be down on the table. I have my glue stick again. Oh, there we go. And I'm going to glue. Like if I drew the eyes here, I'm just going to flip it here, and I'm going to glue this tab here. And then I can pick a spot on my tube, and I can glue them on. And now I have dragon eyes. If you guys even wanted, you could do this out of white paper, so he'd have white eyes. I kind of like him having red eyes though. So there's that. So we'll do that. And while that's now drying, we're going to do the next part. So here's where you need some tissue paper. So I only have white tissue paper. If you have colored tissue paper at home, it makes it really easy, but I don't. So I took a square of white tissue paper and I colored it in. So I have some orange and some red and some yellow. And all I did was very carefully, because tissue paper is very delicate, is I just colored it in. So I'll show you guys that real quick. I'll finish up my red here. And you know, you could get really creative with this. If you think your dragon might breathe purple fire and pink fire and blue fire, you could totally make purple, pink, and blue fire. That would be really neat. I would love to see a dragon that did that. Excuse me. Okay, so now that I have my 3 colors, I'm going to cut each color apart. Doesn't have to be perfect. So there's my orange, and then there's my red and my yellow. So now what I need to do for each color is I need to cut long strips, but I don't want to cut all the way through. I want to leave some at the top because that's going to keep all of the strips together, and that's going to give me something to glue later on. So it doesn't have to be any kind of perfect. This is fire. Fire's all different shapes and sizes. So I'm just going to cut, and you see I'm not cutting all the way up to the top. I'm leaving some so that way they don't fall apart. So you can make these as thin or as thick as you want. You can do a mixture. It's really up to you. All right, so now we're going to do that for all 3 colors. So let me go ahead and do that, and I will be right back to show you what that looks like. Okay, so I am back, and you guys can see I have my orange all cut out, I have my red all cut out, and I have my yellow all cut out. So now what we're going to do, it helps if you take a scrap piece of paper and you pick a color to start with. I'm going to start with my yellow, I think. And we're going to lay that flat on the scrap piece of paper. And again, you're going to need your glue. And if you carefully put some glue at the top of your flames, the next one I'm going to do is going to be red. So then I'm going to take red and I'm going to put that right on the glue. Give it a good little press to make sure it's going to stick. And then I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to put more glue on the top here. And now I have my orange. And I'm going to put my orange on top. And I'm going to glue that down. So now I have all of my fire glued together. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dragon. And actually, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue again, and across the top of all the papers here, I'm going to put some more glue. And then I'm going to very carefully peel everything up off my scrap paper. See, it should come nice and easy. And we're going to kind of fold it in half carefully. You might need your grown-ups' help for this. And we're going to glue it inside the dragon. So see, I'm putting that right inside there. And you kind of take your fingers and push it up into the tube. Give it a good little squeeze. See, I'm kind of giving it a squeeze all the way around. I have one finger inside and one finger outside. And that tissue paper is just going to bend. And it'll go part of the way around. It may not go all of the way around, but that's okay. So now you can see we've got our fire glued to our dragon. And the last thing I'm going to make for my dragon is he needs some nostrils for his nose, I think. So I'm going to just do... I'm going to color in some nostrils. All fire-breathing dragons have to have nostrils, right? And if you guys want to decorate your dragons at all, you can totally do that. You can draw hearts and stars and scales. You can make him have stripes. That would be really awesome, a striped dragon. I'm just going to have a plain dragon for today. But there we go. So now I have my dragon. And if I blow, he makes all kinds of fire. Isn't that fun? So now I have a pair of fire-breathing dragons. So I hope you guys had fun with our dragon circle time today. If you guys make your dragon crafts, let me know. Post pictures down in the comments. I want to see your awesome, amazing dragons that you make. But that's it today, guys. Thank you very much for coming and joining me, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.